Hello, Galaxy? I always have to think. I just got to go that direction, right? Not that it matters how I start these videos. Especially starting the video right before I have to sneeze. Whew. Lost a few midi-chlorians there. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I'm going to try to clean my hands with some tissues here. Tissues that, by the way, are canon. Not really canon, but okay. I apologize for how all of my live videos begin. This is a live video. Thank you for joining. As you can see, plenty of people watching there on YouTube. I was commenting on Discord in relation to the big news of the day, in my estimation, the biggest news, Star Wars news to hit my radar. And thank you. I think it was Cheesy Sword who posted this in the Discord chat, and if not, I will give credit where credit is due. Give me a moment. It was Star Wars Banter, actually, who posted this in the Discord chat. That really kind of threw me off. Cheesy Sword ended up following up and saying something in relation to this news. The biggest thing to hit my radar today is that the Galaxy of Adventures cartoon series is an absolute must-watch, very fun. You may not be the right age for that particular series, but they're fun to watch. Basically, Disney reimagines, Star Wars movies and characters from the movies, and basically animates them in a certain style and just makes it much more palatable for very younger audiences. A great way to introduce younger audiences to Star Wars and the characters and the story and the mythos of Star Wars. And today, it was the video that was published for Galaxy of Adventures. Very brief. These videos are so short, they're over almost before they begin. Very, very quick, very fast, very fast paced. But it was about Han Solo. Of course, it was about Star Wars, but it was about Han Solo and his arc. I don't want to spoil it, but I love how it started, love how it ended, specifically because of you. I was freaking. I still can't believe this. Freaking out when I saw this screenshot. I should have pulled it up. Again, I'm horrible at preparing for this, apparently, because I should have had this pulled up to be able to show everybody in some way, shape, or form. Effectively, if I can get my bearings, give me a second. I'm debating what I need to do here. I need to take a swig. Let's see if that helps. Okay, it seems to. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on one particular character that up until this point had kind of been, and I don't want to say debated, but in Return of the Jedi, there was a character that fought specifically at the Battle of Endor. And a lot of people started drawing the conclusion after Rebels, with seeing Rex again, that this was actually Rex, who we, of course, knew from the Clone Wars, naturally. Rex comes back in Rebels. Boy, I can't seem to catch my... that sneeze really threw me off. Hang on. Okay. Originally, his name was Nick Sant, but apparently this cartoon, as I just pointed out, has Rex. I mean, you can see the clone armor, which you don't necessarily see in Return of the Jedi. So whether this was retconned or what, I don't know. But that, I know some people have certain feelings like that it shouldn't have been retconned, but in my estimation, that excites me. Like in my estimation, it was a good thing to do, and I'm glad they put it in the Galaxy of Adventures, because it's always been this question: oh, that's Rex. That's got to be Rex, because it's an older whitish guy. Because even the actor who played Jango Fett, upon which all clones were based, including Rex, was not a white guy. Bearded, white beard, just like he shows up in Rebels, Rex. And some people like that, some people didn't like it. I'm a fan of the idea that it's Rex. And the first time someone drew that conclusion, I was like, oh my God, what if that's Rex? Oh my God, Rex was on the Battle of Endor. It makes sense, right? It could work. All right, okay, it works for me. So, Rex may, with this cartoon, I'm not going to say he's been made canon in Return of the Jedi, but the character's in it. He's in Return of the Jedi. The whitish, older male, white bearded character is there in Return of the Jedi very clearly. never named, never anything. But in this Galaxy of Adventure shorts, or this little cartoon, this character who's ostensibly Rex shows up like 2 or 3 times, like in key scenes where you wouldn't normally see him, like, you know, when they're in the like the planning room with the Death Star and Admiral Akbar talking and Mon Mothma and General Medine. They have a kind of a pull away, and there's Han and Chewie and Luke and Leia and Rex. I'm like, and then on the scene that I just showed you that screenshot for, they're on Endor, and it's Rex, and then another shot when they're on Endor, it's Rex, and I'm like, you can't explain that. Oh, they just, you know, the animation, they just kind of threw that in there, like, dude, they made that character Rex, no doubt in my mind. That's who is in the cartoon. Now, whether or not the character Nick Sant is effectively going to be retconned as Rex, it's beyond, you know, my jurisdiction, certainly. But I really enjoyed seeing that. That was, to me, that's big news. Because it was always this question in fandom, like, is it Rex? Nah, it's not Rex. It can't be Rex. No, it's not Rex. It's this. But now we have a cartoon produced by Lucasfilm clearly showing Rex. And Rex as we knew him to be in that Rebels time frame. Like, that is, to me, just, it's more than just coincidence. More than just coincidence. Oh, hang on. So Cheesy Sword confirms original character was called Nick Sant. Yes, that we knew. Retconned by Lucasfilm Story Group. Okay, so it was retconned. Pablo has officially stated it being Rex in canon. All right, that's a win in my book. Rex. See, a lot of people miss that detail, and I miss a lot of details too. People have pointed out in some of the tours that I gave at Galaxy's Edge, like, how did you not know that was the lamp that Yoda used? Like, I don't know. I guess I didn't pay attention. How did you not know that? I'm like, I mean, I'm a fan. That doesn't mean I know everything about everything, but that's amazing to know that. I didn't know Pablo made it canon, or the story group, I guess. Essentially, Matt Martin and the whole lot. Wow. You thought they said at the end of Rebels, Hera and Rex fought in the Battle of Endor? I think they did, but, you know, if it's canon, if Pablo says it, okay, that's awesome. The fact that this video pretty much, I mean, it definitively shows, like, I mean, I know it's a cartoon, but it's Rex. You can't debate it. And even if people want to write off the retcon, I mean, it's Rex. And as far as I'm concerned, the moment that his character showed up in Rebels, drawn that way or animated that way, illustrated, I should say, I made that conclusion even before I think it was officially suggested or sanctioned by the story group. I made that leap of like, dude, that's Rex. But now, I mean, beyond it being canon, having this video is really cool. Like, I love how they fit it, because they couldn't have fit it into Rex's story necessarily. I like how they fit it into Solo's story and elevated Rex. That's why I like the Galaxy of Adventures cartoons, because they kind of retell things in a different way stylistically, including a more accurate version of Princess Leia, like getting frustrated with Lucas who's fumbling with things. Leia was on point. Like, she was not messing around in A New Hope. And then the Vader scene reimagined from Rogue One in Galaxy of Adventures, it is stellar. Galaxy of Adventures. I can say that clearly. I can. I swear I can. Micro Madness asks, is Star Wars Galaxy of Adventures canon? That I don't know. Like, the way I heard it explained by Pablo years ago, and by the way, just so you know, and you can feel free to tweet this to him. Pablo, hang on, let me fix the JJ lens flare. I only follow Pablo, and this is true story. I almost don't want to let him know. I follow Pablo because of his Transformers illustrations. It's true. Every so often, his retweets of Snagglepuss Daily. True story. But he's an amazing illustrator. Like, amazing. Like, wow. Breathtaking Transformers illustrations. That is the only reason to follow Pablo. Period. End of story. Maybe some Golden Girls references every so often. But, it's all about those Transformers illustrations. Don't tell Pablo. Don't tell him that's the reason I follow him. Otherwise, he's going to be like, oh, fine, no more. That's what Chris wants. He's not going to get it. So, yeah. I really appreciate that they did what they did. And that Pablo's been as transparent as he has. And at one point, he explained that, you can retell the same story from a different point of view, and it still is canon. It's just a different way of seeing it. And I'm paraphrasing, but it made a lot of sense to me. So I don't know definitively if Galaxy of Adventures is purely canon. I think it is. It's just a different perspective on canon. I know that Forces of Destiny is canon, and to dovetail that with, let's see here, I saw the comment. Cheesy Sword said Hera was shown in Forces of Destiny on Endor. Forces of Destiny is canon, and I remember that episode because they were talking, it was her and Han, right? Or Han was trying to talk to Hera. It's been a while since I watched it. He had to get something from Hera, and he basically had to say that the Ghost was a better ship than the Falcon or something like that. I can't remember what it was. It was really funny. But yeah, Hera was on Endor. It would have been neat to see Rex there as well, but I wonder why they didn't sneak him in there. Hey, Steel Horseman, good to see you again. Micro Madness says, or asks, how do you think the Purge Trooper Black Series figure is going to turn out? So this is the character, one of the characters, and feel free, everybody, to kind of throw in your comments on this, because I know I'm not the only figure fan out there. I'm not as much of a fan of the design of the Purge Trooper, and I think if it's the same one I'm thinking of, is the Purge Trooper the one from Jedi Fallen? I'm blanking on the name. The Fallen Jedi Fallen Order. Am I getting the video game name? Oh my god, this has been a long day. Jedi Fallen Order Purge Trooper. Okay, I'm right. Okay, Jedi Fallen Order Purge Trooper. Yeah. So I'm more of a fan of the was it Second Sisters design than I think I am the Purge Troopers design. I don't know. There's something about the ripples of the helmet that kind of throw me off, personally. But I think the figure will turn out okay. It reminds me of the Sith Troopers from a few years ago, or maybe it was the Republic Trooper helmet. The Lego minifigure, Republic Trooper helmet. That I'm in my mind, that's what sticks out. I never really liked the design of that. I like Troopers, don't get me wrong, but I'm sure the figure will turn out fine. Probably will not be my favorite of all time, or like one that I enjoy, but yeah, it's a Trooper. I can't deny that. For some reason, like the way it ripples, it doesn't do it for me. I don't know how else to explain it. Pablo has answered every single question I've ever sent him on Twitter except for one. Really? Well, that's impressive. Well, maybe you want to ask if Galaxy of Adventures is canon, since the questions come up. I don't know if it is. I don't know if I have a definitive answer on that. He said, I've asked him a number of times for the idea to call them Phoenix Squad came from the scene of the original Star Wars where they call for Phoenix Squad over the PA system. Oh yeah. See, that may get deep into the weeds there. So give me a sec. Oh, hang on. Micro, you said that's also what it reminded me of. Okay, good. So I'm glad, like, as much as my brain is burnt right now, I'm glad we're thinking the same way, and that we were thinking of the same thing. I was going to get a little worried about myself. So a few minutes ago, I talked about how ThinkGeek's going out of business. Got this at 75% off, the 4-pack, with the Senate Guard and the Emperor's Royal Guard, the Shadow Guard, and the Elite Praetorian Guard. And so I said, I'm going to unbox this in today's Star Wars Radar video. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Y'all give me excuses to unbox these, because otherwise it's just, me, and it's not as much fun if it's just me. I have not actually heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. I would like to hear it. I'm telling you, man, if they want a standalone movie, a Darth Plagueis standalone movie, if it was based on the novel, oh yeah. Oh, I wouldn't want a Palpatine story, like a prequel for Palpatine. No, I would love to see a Plagueis, because I don't think it would be successful if it was marketed as a Star Wars film, because it would only be for fans. But imagine if it wasn't a film, if it was a Disney Plus miniseries exclusive, a Darth Plagueis movie, or like a Darth Plagueis miniseries. Oh man, sign me up. Oh, I'd be so in for that. As I mentioned in, I'm gonna have to take this out. In the Think Geek video, this is the only way, to my knowledge, to get the Senate Guard and the Shadow Guard, and I think this particular sculpt of the Elite Praetorian Guard, I never, honestly, so I like the Senate Guards. Boy, maybe I won't be able to get these out. Hang on. These are a little tricky. I'm going to keep their weapons in right now, but I like the design ethos of the Senate Guard. Like, that to me is a clean look. It's smooth. The ridges are in the right place. And I love the fact that these are soft goods, by the way. I much prefer with the Black Series soft goods than hard plastic. Much prefer it, like with capes and cloaks. But see, even if you were, and I don't think you can easily remove the cape, but like even underneath, that's a pretty epic sculpt for the Senate Guard. That's epic. So taking a look, I'm trying to read your comments and unbox and talk at the same time. The Shadow Guard is awesome. It's the only way to get this one too. I'd love to see a reissue of the 3 3/4 inch Shadow Guard. Personally, maybe in the vintage collection, we'll see something. How about a Jar Jar after years movie? Could he get a revival? I think Jar Jar has had his time. I did not mind Jar Jar, but I'm good with no more Jar Jar content. I'm good with that. Would I watch it? Yes. Would I enjoy it? Probably. Jar Jar was good in the Clone Wars. I enjoyed him in the Clone Wars. I did. I enjoyed him more in enjoyed Jar Jar and the character and the portrayal more in the Clone Wars than I did in the prequels. Fun fact of the day: Count Dooku's full name is Dooku what does that say? Sereno. Yeah, we never really found out. Home planet Sereno was named after his family names after his ancestor had defended the planet from the Sith Empire millennia ago. Oh, that's ironic. Yeah, so John, sorry, that's Super Awesome Geek Show's name. Not to out you there. They usually go on sale, the Black Series, especially certain characters, some even up on Amazon and other places eventually. That's true. A lot of the Black Series characters do go on sale. It's so, sometimes it's good to wait. I'd be cautious about that, because anymore the vintage collection and Black Series are very difficult to find. I mean, especially when they're new. But retailers, I don't think, have been doing a very good job at kind of keeping up with demand. So that's what makes me nervous about the Black Series. It makes me very nervous, because they're really geared towards a different. They're not geared towards kids. They're geared towards like you and me, like adults. So there's the ERG. Can't have too many of those. Great to army build. Always loved the design ethos of the ERG. So again, the curves, are in the shadows are in the right spot. And I always felt that way. I never had an issue with the ERG. I would say probably one of my favorite Imperials, like in terms of the design ethos. Yeah, more so than a Purge Trooper for sure. That's just my opinion. Everyone's got a different opinion. Not necessarily unique to the set, but I'm glad they threw him in. Great way to, as I said, army build. Then we have his darker counterparts. His or her, I should say. Darker counterpart. Okay, thank you, Cheesy Sword, for the reference coming from the audio drama Dooku Jedi Lost. Had you listened to it? I'd assume you had, because you seem to be more into that, which is great, because I'm not. And so helping me fill in some blanks is awesome. I like being a more complete fan for knowing that stuff. Okay, this is where I get stymied, and I worry about bending arms in the wrong spot or bending them backwards. But effectively, the Shadow Guard is a doppelganger to the Royal Guard, just darker, black. Although, yeah, so it may be difficult to ascertain, but the actual slit for the eyes in the Shadow Guard is actually like a dark red. Hang on just a second. Diana's calling. Why is Diana calling here? My wife. Sorry, precedent over opening Star Wars figures here. She's probably gonna...
Hello?
Hey?
Sorry,
Yeah?
were you streaming?
Yeah? What's up?
Oh, nothing else. Just the email you sent. Is it like...
Oh, yeah.
Is it me?
It's not happening.
Oh, is there a reason?
No.
Does that happen all the time?
Oh, yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing new.
Oh.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Say hi.
Alright. Hi.
So, there you go. Dinah said hi. Checking the comments here as I continue to order, or unbox, I should say, uncrate. Yoda Black Series Wave Archive Wave 2 is out. Yes, it is. I haven't seen it yet. I have mine on pre-order. So don't worry about that, Micro Madness. I will be Yoda'd up. I missed the Yoda Black Series first time around. I had the one... Oh, so here's the thing. I'm never going to find it at a good price. But for the Black Series, the Shadow Trooper... the Shadow, like, Stormtrooper, as well as the Biker Scouts, Shadow Scout, I missed that 2-pack. So I don't know if those are going to get reissued as archives, but those I would love to have. I would love to have them, and unfortunately, you can't get them without, like, spending an arm and a leg. But the Shadow Trooper and the Shadow, I want to say they had like a Shadow, like a Stormtrooper, and a Shadow, like a Scout Trooper. And in the Black Series, and I wasn't at that point. I wasn't collecting Black Series figures, so I missed a lot of these that they're reissuing, and I think a lot of people did, which is I think one of the reasons why they are reissuing. So if you ever see a spare set loose or packaged, I'd be happy to take it off of somebody's hands. Like I said, I'm gonna kind of keep the weapons in the packaging. Just because otherwise it may make a lot of noise and not necessarily be worth the full reveal. But there we go. Elite Praetorian Guard was never. I mean, I did not mind the sculpt, like the kind of the lobster sculpt. Of this particular portion, but with the Praetorian Guard, I never liked any of the head sculpts of the helmets. I was not, maybe one of them, not this one. This was like my least favorite of the three. I think I'm not going to say they phoned it in, but I wish they would have done it differently. That's my personal opinion. I just didn't, I liked this part. I didn't flip for this part as much. Still collected them. It's like not like I'm going to say, no, it's horrible. I just, not as much of a fan. It's me personally. Same thing with the Purge Trooper. What are you gonna do? Y'all may like it. I wasn't. Not me. The only thing wrong with the figure is the Shadow Guard's visor should be red instead of black, according to the design. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's red. That's what I was trying to point out. It's not black. It's like a dark red, a deep red, not a bright red. You may not be able to ascertain that based upon the color settings for this particular broadcast, but by eye, it is not. That is not black. It's red. Looking forward to the Archive Biker Scout. Yeah, I am too. I have that one, the Scout Trooper Biker Scout. I think people who collected the vintage figures called them Biker Scouts because that's what I knew it as. But then eventually it became the Scout Trooper, right? I have the one from the set, but the problem is it's bow-legged. So I wonder if the sculpt of the Archive series Biker Scout is not bow-legged. So I am interested in seeing that. That's also one that if I'm in the store and I see one on the shelf, I would probably buy it full price. For army building, like that was one of my favorite original trilogy troopers. AT-AT driver #1 easily. I love the pilot, the TIE pilot, but the Biker Scout or the Scout Trooper immediately. There's something about it that I just loved. I'm not gonna say adored, but loved. Way more than the Stormtrooper. I mean, I couldn't tell you why. I mean, why do we like certain things and not other things? I'm not sure if I have the answer to those questions. But I'm definitely looking forward to that stuff. Hey, Star Wars Banter. Good to see you. I know it gets late for you here this time of day. But happy that you're able to join us on a Friday evening Cheers, or Frasier. Sorry, I'm more of a Frasier fan than Cheers. I'm just gonna say it. Glad that Cheers came along so that we could have Frasier, but I'm a Star Wars fan, yes, but like I have watched Frasier episode. I've seen every Frasier episode, I swear, at least 7 times. I'm not joking. Uh, so anyway, you know, I don't know what that says about me, right? That I like one sculpt over the other, or why certain sculpts kind of bother me. But you know, again, for 75% off of $80, however much that amounts to. Okay, give me a second. I got it. What is 75% off $80? Are you gonna be able to tell me? Oh, that doesn't really help. Oh, $20. Okay. So I got each one of these for $5, basically. That's the bottom line. So for a Black Series for $5 for a Black Series 6-inch figure, like, that's a bargain. That's a bargain and a half. Huge. Good to see you, Micro. Thank you for joining. Good luck with the rugby game there tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow I'm going to be live streaming, by the way, throughout the day. Where is it? Hang on. Where did it go? The Darth Vader. Give me a second. I've got all the papers and stuff from the unboxing that I just did on the other video stream. Tomorrow, I'm going to be basically assembling this live in this channel, or these channels, across these channels, the Darth Vader bust, right? So I'm going to be doing this live on the stream. I figured I'm just going to pivot the camera down and do it here, and then watch chat and everything. So this is going to be happening live tomorrow. There's a reflection of my screen. Want to put it together, and this was the Celebration exclusive. I got this like probably 25% off retail. Target exclusive. Which, by the way, if you didn't know, apparently Lego took a lot of heat for doing this, because it was originally, I mean, it is like a Target red card exclusive as well as a Celebration exclusive. And Target took so much flack, or Lego took so much flack for that they effectively said they're not going to my knowledge, they're not going to do that again. So you're not going to see a lot of like those types of exclusive Lego sets released to retailers, at least. So I'm glad, because I was really upset that I thought I wouldn't be able to get one of these. And so I will be very happy to be able to assemble this with everybody tomorrow, talking Star Wars, naturally, as we put it together. Trust me, I'm not gonna ever run out of things to share. That's the thing. Like, inevitably, every day there's something new to talk about and have fun with. As I said, I got to catch up. I actually have to start putting things away, right? And getting things, where they need to go. And JJ, why do you bother me so? You know what? The lens flare may be sticking around. I wish there was a better way of doing it in this current setup. That said, today I got some news that would indicate I may have the option and opportunity to do this differently. I don't know how that's going to play out. Do you guys like this setup for the background and how this happens and how it sounds and how it looks? I may continue to tweak, but if you like the setup, maybe I'll just continue to do this and figure out another way of doing the camera. But it works. It's just simple. It's straightforward. I can talk. I can interact. I can see you guys. I've got a table in front of me. I mean, it's comfortable for me. Feel free, like I said, to jump onto Discord as well. Every one of you can. Oh, it looks like Micro Madness did. Awesome. Thank you, Micro Madness, for joining the Discord server. Do I like Frasier because of the setting in Seattle? That's a funny thing, Clearspace. I watched Frasier a little bit before I moved to Seattle, but I think you might be onto something. I feel my affinity for it is because of Seattle, but I never got into Grey's Anatomy, and that's based in Seattle, right? So I don't know if that was it, but I think that also kind of drove my affinity to it. But it's well written. Like, they're great characters, great actors. It's funny. These are people like, I mean, this was before the Big Bang Theory, right? And I'm one of those people who's a fan of the Big Bang Theory. Some people don't like it. Some nerds just hate it. But I always liked it, because there were, I see these types of people all the time, right? But they're characters, right? And there was something about Frasier that for some reason just it hit all the right notes for me. Don't know why. I think you may be onto something though, because I'm like, I wonder if it's because of Seattle. Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. The Lego Vader bus should hit in September in Target stores. What do you mean? It's here. It already hit. Oh, you mean like a public release? Okay. I didn't know they were going to do a full-on release, but trust me, that absolutely works for me. I got no problem with that. Okay, so I unboxed those figures. I talked about the bust. The only other thing, let's see here. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're about a half hour. So someone was asking about comics. I get my monthly. Maybe do you guys want? Okay, so I got my comics for this month. Do I just save this till Monday? I was just gonna show the comics that came out this month. I don't think there's any rush to it or rush on it. Oops, let's put that over there. I don't want to lose that. But anyway, I got my comics box. I used to go to a comic store, but they went out of business. So I kind of wonder, maybe I'm just teasing this. Maybe I save this till Monday. I'm going to be talking. I'd like to do a weekly thrift haul because I've got a few things that have stacked up. Or maybe I could do this Sunday. Maybe I can do the comics on Sunday. I don't know. I don't have a pattern yet. I don't know. All I'm doing is just talking and trying to figure out things as I go along. Talking with the community. My release schedule from Lego says on September. Wait, hang on. Okay, so Super Awesome Geek Show, by the way, just disclaimer, works for Lego. But wait a minute, is it the same bust? Because that's... I guess it's possible because they got so much flack for it. Is it the same one? Which if it is, that's awesome. I don't... The fewer Vader things I see, probably the better. Because it's like, ooh... It's a Vader thing. I chase it. Like this nice little shirt. Which, I'll probably sleep in it. That's a compliment to the shirt. Get a schedule. And when you're allowed to talk about it. Yeah, I'd imagine that's a pretty important thing. To know when you're going to be able to talk about it. It's the same bust? Great. Okay, works for me. So that's the plan. I don't know if I have a time, maybe late morning after I've run my errands. So just stay tuned. So I'm trying to find a schedule where everyone can predict when and where. And the challenge is that my day job, I mean, it fluctuates, but I'm trying to make it evening. But like today, I had a phone call that ran over, a very important call that ran over. So I wasn't able to kind of get things going until I knew it like 7. And then so 7:30 became the cadence. I also don't know when the most amount of people are able to kind of tune in live because I want to try to maximize that too for interactivity reasons. Because otherwise it's just me babbling and there's not a lot of chat go between. So my feeling is 6:30 is about the best time I would have for doing these live videos, and I'm just trying to make that a regular thing so that people can kind of count on it on Twitch, Periscope, Mixer, YouTube, and beyond. Just having that regular time so that people know when to tune in. And it's hard. It's hard when you have other things going on in your life. So that's why I have to be careful in the evening hours. You just read Master and Apprentice. So, or the comic book, Master and Apprentice. Was that a comic or was that a book? I know there was an Obi-Wan and Anakin comic series. The art, it wasn't that good. In my estimation, it wasn't like my favorite. But was it a book? I don't know. Either way, I like I said, my personal hope is to be able to push through a half hour with everybody, and now we've made it that far for today. I'm hoarse. I think that's the problem. Is like my it's sore because I was talking like pretty much all afternoon, and so it's like a little sore. Earlier is better than East Coasters. Yeah, I know, dude. So I'm trying to, like I said, trying to get into that groove where I know I can count on it without without running into conflicts. And on the average day, I think average day could very well end up being about 6 o'clock for the live video that I do in my personal channel, and 6:30 for the Star Wars Radar talk show. And unfortunately, I don't have any more flexibility beyond that. It's difficult because work hours. So, a few hours into Alphabet Squadron, really enjoyed the post ROTJ setting. They're setting up Shadow Wing as a big threat similar to Inferno Squadron. Ooh, okay. See, but it's hard for me to visualize a lot of those things. I appreciate reading about squadrons in comic books and or seeing them. I mean, I can visualize them to a certain degree, and I like the storytelling in books and audiobooks, but I'm just so much more visual, and I can get into the stories and imagine what characters might look like for races that we haven't necessarily seen, and locations that we haven't seen, and that's it's perfect way to kind of like help spur on my mind's blanking on words, but like help my imagination kind of flourish. But I'm always more inclined to look for more visuals, but I'm much more of a visual guy. Chancellor Palpatine finally showed up. What are your thoughts on the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? I think you meant. I did a reaction video earlier this week. Was it last week? I've kind of lost track. I'm looking forward to it. I'll be playing it. And honestly, I think what's going to happen as we do these Star Wars Radar videos, I may do some of them here in the play shop, and then I've got kind of like a little studio kind of set up where I work, like a small like studio, and I may end up playing video games in that studio space in my off hours, and then doing the Star Wars Radar through that. That's I think where my head kind of goes, because then I'm playing video games and we're talking about whatever video game, whether it's a pinball or Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Order, or Knights of the Old Republic, Battlefront 2, whatever it happens to be. I think it's called TIE Fighter. Oh yeah, TIE Fighter. There's going to be a comic run called TIE Fighter. Okay, cool. So Shadow Wing Squad, is that the crossover with the TIE Fighter comic series? Because if so, I'm in. I'm great with that. I'm great with that. So I'm going to go ahead and start winding down, because I've got to get my voice a rest. But thank you everybody for joining me for this video, potentially the other one if you tuned in for me talking about the death of Think Geek, and those unboxings, where I took off my shirt and put this one on. The other shirt that I was wearing and put this one on. But thank you again for chatting with me, talking about things, bringing things up. Always appreciate your insight, your perspectives, your suggestions, your questions, your answers. This is honest. I'm not joking. I very much, as much as I like doing video where I'm not necessarily interacting with chat, I really look forward to this type of video, because I like talking about this stuff and I enjoy it, and I wanted to be able to talk about it more. And so thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about the thing that I love to talk about. That is Star Wars. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. And, it is my hope to continue to do that, not just because I love doing it, but so that we can continue to bring more people into that discussion and that conversation to talk about what is on everybody's respective radar. So I really, really appreciate it. Because I need it. I really do. I mean, that's the thing, is like, I got started with producing content, decades ago, because no one else was doing what I wanted to see. And so I did it. And I feel like there's a ton of Star Wars podcasts out there, but I crave interactivity. And that's what I love most. And so my hope is as the community kind of continues to build and back build. Calling John up the other day was awesome. My hope is doing it this time of night, that one day I'll be able to invite people that I follow in social, like if they're doing something important, like, hey, will you come in and talk about it, or like people, Jason, who I'd consider a friend, or even a colleague, if I can say that, Jason from Yakface. I would love to bring him on to talk about figure releases and whatnot when it's important. People that I follow, to have these conversations, these deeper conversations, because it I want to see it happen. So I'm trying to make the things happen that I want to see happen. That's the goal. So thank you for subbing, thank you for following, thank you for interacting. I will be back tomorrow at some point. I'm thinking late morning. I don't really have these regular schedules. I know I've got to get better at doing it. It doesn't always happen though. But thank you. If you join Discord, I may pre-announce in there, and usually YouTube is where I schedule a video, so the time you would know the next time then. But it's touch and go on the weekdays, typically 6-7 p.m. in that range. But on weekends, I probably aim for late mornings if I'm able to do it. So let's build that Vader tomorrow. Gonna need all the help I can get. All the pieces are dark, man. It's not as easy as like, oh, I get the red piece, oh, I get the blue piece. Oh, they're all black, I think. I don't know where I'm gonna put it when I'm done with it, but I'll deal with that when I actually assemble the full Vader bust. So thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for participating. I do love doing it. Look forward to this every single day. I love you. I appreciate you. And at this point, I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force be with you always.